because it's wee-weeing down, not dry as we thought it was going to be. It's going to rain till dinner. Taking the drill off, Sam's going to get the edge cutter and the front flail on and go around some of the fields. So we're going to move that over to here now. Bit of good news for anyone that took the test after 1997, like me, that missed out by a couple of months. We can now legally, from the 20th, tow trailers. So now we're insured. I've always been able to tow that trailer anyway, but not with too much weight on it. But now you can obviously tow it legally from the 20th, which is great news. A lot of people are moaning, going, that's not fair, I paid for a trailer test and I paid for a wagon test and da 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 da. Well, yeah, you did, but you've been able to earn money for however many years for those people that couldn't. So I can understand people that maybe passed the test last week and now it's been scrapped. It's been unfortunate, but it has been in the news for quite a few months that it might be happening. So there you go. But yeah, legal again to tow trailers from the 20th. So anyone that passed the test after 1997, the injustice has now been sorted. I refuse to take a trailer test because, one, I didn't really tow that much with my car, and also I refuse to pay someone to tell me whether I know how to drive something with a trailer or not when I've been doing it since I was like, well, legally 13, but yeah, ridiculous. So I passed my tractor test at 16. If you take your tractor test at 16, we drive trailers behind tractors on the road at 16, but then when I was 17 and took my car test, I then wasn't allowed to tow a trailer with my car. It's crazy. Anyway, it's been sorted. That trailer looks quite big behind the fast track, but on the 936 it looks quite small. Andrew's off just to move a few load of muck from the horse stables because the midden's been overflowing because we've been too busy harvesting, so we're going to get that, and that's going to get spread ready for spuds in the spring. This trailer got splashed the other day moving them trees. It's like all the bits of silt out the ditch, so we're going to just wash it off quickly now. I think you can say them beans are dry and just a little bit of steam just coming off them now because it's so cold today. James is behind me chipping and the steam coming off the wood chip as well. Taking the last of the feed barley out of that bay, taking it round to the main shed where it's going to live now until it's sold in the next sort of few months, or maybe even carry it into next year if the prices looks like it could still go up. Got sweep on the go now. Some people won't remember Sooty and Sweep, but it's the same colours. It's time to go and put this sign up. It's nearly that heavy though, because it's that well made. Might pull the gate over. Right, so there's a little gate and a big gate, so I think we're going to have to put it on the end of the big gate so it looks in the middle, but when it opens it'll be in a bit. We're going to hold it up, see what it looks like. Watch your back, it's heavy. It's alright then, isn't it?
Smaller.
I think it needs to be higher though. That's it, yeah. Right. Just stood in the grain store because it's the best place for stable signal, because BBC Radio 4 want to ring me on FaceTime audio because you get better audio quality for doing radio because it's films in stereo, not mono. So when you've got your phone to you, it's just mono, but when you do FaceTime audio, it gets stereo. So they're going to do a noise test ready for 5:20, I think, drive time, talking to me about farming. Obviously, there's a no-till direct drill, the Horsch one behind me, very similar to the John Deere one we had, and before that we had a Moore drill, which is very similar again, made in Ireland. Loads of people asking loads of questions saying, do you just direct drill or did you ever try strip drill? Well, yes, the first time we tried direct drilling was with the Moore drill, and it sort of worked, but on some fields the ground wasn't ready. So what we did was then we bought a Claydon drill and we did strip till for probably around 7 years. Didn't need to do it for that long, but we kind of got lazy because it worked, so we always used to drill with the Claydon, but we weren't getting the full agronomical benefits, so we were getting grass weeds with deep loosening. But basically the Claydon, in fact I'll go and show you in a minute, the Claydon would cut a slot with a leading tine and then sow the seed either side of the leading tine. So you then ended up with these like strips in the field that were tilled and the seed was in, and you could still drive over the field without sinking because 80% of the surface of the field was not disturbed, and it did work really well. But where the deep tine was, you were getting grass weeds and different things like that, and it wasn't full direct drilling, which is now what we've gone on to over the last few years with the John Deere drill and the Claydon. We have used the Claydon drill though for beans because we do feel it is good for beans and it has a nice wide row. Now we've got this one, which has a wider row than the John Deere. We will next year sow some of the beans with the Claydon and some of the beans with the Moore drill, and we'll see the difference. Also for rape, some of the rape we will sumo first and loosen the ground because we want the soil black, and rape sometimes can be a lazy root test. So if the ground conditions aren't perfect, we'll sumo it first. but otherwise the minimum the soil disturbance we can do, the better. Apologies if I've showed you this before, but this is the strip till Claydon drill. Same as Jeremy Clarkson's actually. If you look, you've got a tine there that goes through the soil, runs a bit deeper, maybe that much deeper than the seeding coulter which follows it. This is the seeding coulter, so this loosens the ground either side of where the tine's gone, which is near the point, and then this is where the beans come out the back. Now when we're drilling cereals, it has 2 outlets either side, and then that puts the seed on the shoulder of the soil. I'll draw a sketch on the whiteboard to show you, but this is a strip till drill. So this is the profile of the soil under strip till. So there's your surface. You create a little bit of tilth around. I'll turn the camera. You create a little bit of tilth, and then you cut a drainage channel. This is the old roots. So that's strip till, so these roots can now root down here on their own. No till, you put the seed in right in the surface, and you've got your old channels from last year. But if you drove across that field, you wouldn't sink in because it's only been disturbed. Drove across, you won't sink in because it's only just been disturbed in little bits, and this has never been disturbed. Whereas if you mix the whole profile up to around that depth, like 12 inch or 8 inch or whatever, then it was squashed back down. So that's really good at carrying traffic, and then that's even better at carrying traffic. As if you were aware that the number plate on the fast track isn't ideal and it's quite offensive, so I spoke to the DVLA on Twitter about changing it. They told me I had to send them the logbook. I tried to assign a private registration to it today online, couldn't do it because obviously it's a tractor. Spoke to them on the web chat and they're like, oh no, you can't do it. But if you post us the logbook, we can do it. And I was like, well, why can't you just do it now? And then it's done. Instead of me having to post you the logbook, and apparently it could take up to 6 weeks. Then I don't know what number plate to put on the trailers. I don't know what number plate to register to the Mersey Gateway crossing, yada, yada, yada. So now I've sent the logbook with a covering letter saying, look, here's the registration. Obviously, you can see that there's something wrong with it. Can it be changed? You said that you'd change it. I'm happy to pay for another registration to go on it because there is some really nice number plates on the DVLA's website that end in JCB. So it'd be nice to have one of them on it. And I said, I don't mind paying for a cherish plate to go on it, even though it will be stuck on it. And if you get the documents, can you please ring me and I'll pay over the phone or whatever. So we'll see. But knowing the DVLA, the fact that it's a bit of a computer says no, I expect them just to send me a logbook back with like a rubbish generic plate that they've just picked out of thin air, which will really annoy me because that's kind of what they did with the combine. They didn't even ring me. We sent them the stuff through and they just went, no, you can't have that on. There's a crap plate. So if anyone knows anyone at the DVLA in Swansea, tell them that the logbook's on its way back and see if they'll see a bit of sense, or they might, be a bit human about it and say, well, this guy, he had a plate on his tractor which was a bit rubbish. He's had all the inconvenience of swapping it. Let's just give him a break and, sell a number plate at the same time and give him what he wants on the tractor. But I have a feeling that they won't be human about it, and I'll just be swerved, I suppose, is the polite way of saying it. So yeah, if you know anyone at the DVLA that works in Swansea, let me know. I'll tell them to watch this video, but it's on the way back to now a logbook for the fast track. Don't know about anyone else, but I'm having a lot of trouble with my Makita batteries not lasting that long. So I've just got another 2 new ones now. I'm going to write the date on them and we'll see how long they last. James has finished the pilot chipping. Now he's on the Mini Merlot doing some what we call double chip, where he puts it through twice just to get it a bit finer and less chance of longer objects within it. We've got some new rubbers around the weighbridge now, so Andrew and Christine are just putting them out because the other ones have got a bit knackered. So just got to trim the end ones to fit, clean any rubbish out. How much was that rubber? Was it like £700 or something?
600. What?
650 quid for how many pieces? 1, 2, 10 pieces. £65 a length, 10 foot long, T-shaped rubber, including that. Just been putting the battery on charge as well that I used for the drill that I put the sign up with before, and I realised I never got an after picture once we put it up. So you'll have to wait till next time I'm up there to get an after picture, which will probably be tomorrow, or I'll be passing tomorrow. This was the field we were looking at yesterday that's sown with wheat. As you can see, it's going a bit more yellow, so the weeds are dying. And we have got a shoot of wheat just showing. We've also got some cleavers there that might grow as well, little sticky bobbles. But I can only see, oh there's another one there. So there's 2 up now. Oh, there's another one actually. So hopefully tomorrow we might have a few more, might even be able to see rows. But it is quite cold today. So that's taken 7 days from sowing to coming up. Now, it probably would have been a little bit quicker if the rain had come a bit sooner, but from Monday when it was drilled, it didn't rain till Thursday, so there was 4 days when it had no moisture to sort of get going, and it wasn't sown particularly deep. If it had been sown a bit deeper with the moisture, it might have started growing a bit quicker, but we knew rain was on the way, and also it was one of the mixing up with the drill as well. For the first time ever, that's dusty, and you can see something written on the back of it. Andrew's got OCD. He's getting the jet wash out and washing his JCB, or is it a Merlot? Did anyone spot it? That's about all for today anyway. Hopefully Jonathan gets better soon. He's obviously been in hospital for the last few days. Jonathan got the new Valtra last Monday, and then the next day he was in hospital, so hopefully he'll be on the mend soon as possible. A couple of birthdays as well, they'll be at me. I'm not saying them all because I just wish I'd never mentioned it. Anyway, if you want to watch another video, it's over there. If you want to subscribe, it's over here. Did anyone hear me on Radio 4 before? Because they kind of edited it a little bit and you couldn't hear me what I was saying about spraying properly, which was a bit of a shame. Anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow.